All right, we're streaming.
What about, so we've got, what about IT treasurer and recorder? Are they just going to jump on when they get a little closer?
I presume so. There's caller 3 jumping on. Let me see what.
That says CO as well.
Okay, and say again. No, that's different. Okay.
So John and Paul, will we be able to see you
Only if you do the YouTube stream
on another
and just
screen? Oh,
yeah,
that's fine.
yep. I just that's not gonna work. Sorry, just about there. Actually, we're doing okay. We're T plus a few minutes, but we're.
We ready?
See, Jared's here in person. Nicole's here in person. So yeah, we're ready.
Okay.
Yep.
Excuse me. Good morning, everyone. We'd like to welcome everyone to our Iron County Commission meeting dated this Monday, the 27th of April, 2020. And we have several that are joining us via Zoom meeting, Commissioner Adams and our assessor, Cindy Bullock. And we have others that are on the Zoom call as well that'll join us in a little bit. We will go ahead and open our meeting with a prayer. I'll go ahead and offer that, and then we'll be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Dan Jessen. Our Father in heaven, as we gather together this beautiful spring morning, we express our gratitude for the opportunities we have to meet this morning in our County Commission meeting. We're grateful for the opportunities to meet, to discuss the needs of our county. We are very grateful for many blessings. We're grateful for the moisture we receive and for the goodness it brings to the land. We pray for the continued blessings of moisture that we may have sufficient to sustain life and crops. We're grateful for those in our county who serve to keep us safe, to keep the county organized. We pray the blessing upon them and their families. We are mindful of those who are suffering at this time, both economically and with their health. We pray that that will bless them and keep them safe, and that we can work through this pandemic and get back to normalcy as soon as possible. We express our gratitude unto Thee for our many blessings. We pray that Thy Spirit will be with us in this meeting, that Thou would guide and direct our decisions that we make, and for the betterment of this community and our county. And we say these things humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
We should put a camera on the flag.
I've got the flag on my phone.
Okay, ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll go ahead and move into the minute approval portion of our meeting. And this would be the minutes for March 23rd, 2020. And I think I failed to excuse Commissioner Blake. I think he'll be joining us shortly. He had a little bit of trouble with his vehicle this morning. So, but we'll go ahead and and go ahead and approve these minutes. Is there any discussion regarding the minutes dated March 23rd? Commissioner
I have
Adams?
no discussion. I move that we approve the Iron County Commission minutes of March 23rd, 2020.
Okay, it's been moved to approve the minutes of March 23rd, 2020. All in favor? And I second that motion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Let's see, we'll go to departmental reports. We'll go to our assessor, Cindy Bullock.
Good morning. We are busy in the assessor's office. This is our busy time of the year with our statutory deadline to have our assessment roll done by May 21st. We are hoping to be done a little bit early just so that we can make sure everything's done and we've got it ready, not ever knowing if, with COVID, today's the day that something might happen. So we are working really hard to get that done. Also, personal property payments are due by May 15th. And this is the first year we've done the online filing. That has been a huge success, getting really positive feedback from our taxpayers. That has made it a much easier process. Also, with the change last year in the legislative session, increasing that statutory deadline or statutory minimum, that to $15,000, we have eliminated almost 2/3 of our small businesses from having to pay that or to having to file. If they have been under the limit for the last 5 years, we don't even have to send them a notice and they don't have to respond. So that has cost or has saved a bunch of money both for the county in the administration costs as well as time and effort for our businesses. That because the minimum, they have to have been under for the last 5 years, there are still some who are having to file even though they won't have to pay, but that will get less and less as we move forward. Also, our DMV has been busy, but we have been handling it. I appreciate the support of the commission in helping us, especially in Cedar, try to kind of to spread that out so that we're not as busy. If you watch the news this morning, they had people up in the Draper office who were in line since 3 o'clock this morning. So at least because we have been able to stay open, we've been taking care of our citizens and we don't have that big waiting. So other than that, we are cognizant of our budget and the potential impact that the COVID is going to have, and we're making sure that we watch that. We are definitely under budget at this point. And that's all I have, unless you have questions for me.
No questions here, Commissioner Adams, no?
I don't have any. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you,
report.
Cindy. Appreciate that good report. Okay, we'll go to Jared, IT.
Sorry, usually I have something planned or in your guys' emails for this, but I don't today. But just to kind of give you an update, our budget is looking pretty good. We are experiencing some extra expenditures due to the COVID. I don't think that we're going to end up having to have a budget adjustment or anything. I think we can go ahead and weather the storm, and we can push off maybe a couple projects into next year's budget. So that looks good that way. And the impact's kind of been a little bit minimal for us, but there has been some impact that way. The other things that are taking place, we've got two new hires that are working out really well. April and Jager, they're filling in and getting going really well. And of course, we're keeping Taylor really busy. She's been doing a really good job with the website and that, and tweeting out and doing the other social media aspects for the county, especially with the pandemic going on that. So, and we're starting our FBI audit. So BCI FBI, we just got that started last week, and so we'll have a couple months of that going on, and that's really our big stuff. So unless you guys have questions, that's really about the nuts and bolts of what's going on.
I had a question with Lori Eichelberger's office, the department, with some of the requests, with some of her. Did we ever get that done with some of her voicemail and some of those to help her was
Yeah,
streamlined.
we've been working with her and I'm pretty sure everything's taken care of
Oh,
on all
okay.
that stuff. So
Good.
we've worked with her on that. She's been really good to work with too. So
Thank you, appreciate that. Any other questions for Jared?
I just wanted to say thanks to IT. We have had folks trying to work from home. The terminal emulation has been successful. We've had a couple little technical issues as we go, but we really appreciate the IT folks, and in fact some of the new hires have really stepped up, and it's been good to have them help us, but also get to know them a little bit. So
thank you. Appreciate that.
yeah.
I would echo that. Thanks so much, IT department. Very much appreciated all you've done to get us through this. And I appreciate Jared bringing this computer to my house so I would have better access today. And they've just been very responsive. We appreciate it.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'd like to echo that as well. Thanks very much, Jared.
Thank you.
Is there a treasurer on? Oh, there's no treasurer. I was thinking recorder. Sorry, Nicole. You're here. You're in person.
You're in person today.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Hey, it's weird to not have everybody all here together, but I'm hoping that changes soon. I'm ready for us to be back to normal, but
We all are.
so the information that I've given to you, and I emailed it to Alma and to Mike, but just our product sales, of course, we're just at the beginning of the year, so definitely not nice and large like my last report for the end of the year, but collections are coming in. Of course, the last month has been very slow, so we're hoping that that makes a little turnaround, but things have definitely slowed down for us with collections. So we've brought in about $3 million just since January 1st. But and then as far as collections, the amount that's gone to the county only is at $569,000. So that's where we are just in the first 3 months. And our pool cash, we're still doing really well with our cash. We're still at $32 million, just a little over that. Interest, of course, is falling. It would have been February, interest was at 2.28, and the end of March it had gone down to 1.66. So, of course, the PTF is always better than State Bank or the other banks, but I hate to see that going down. It was nice when it had gone up to the 3%, but hoping that we can kind of maintain there, but they are thinking it still will creep down a little bit more. Our outstanding taxes were at $7,100,000, and of course, a little bit of that is personal property right now. We have a couple of the big solars that have been billed out, but we haven't got their payments yet. So that's a little bit higher than it normally would be. Of course, black iron is $4,800,000 of that amount. So if we did not have that, really our outstanding would be super great, but until we can get that resolved, it's just going to stay a nice large number. So we've been working really hard on the tax sale. Of course, started with 204. We're down to 136 right now. 9 of them are still homes. So last week we sent information out to Del Slosher with our sheriff, and they were going to go actually hand deliver notices to the homeowners of those 9. If they are not there, they are really great to post it on the house and send us a picture that it's posted on the house. So we really go above and beyond to try to make sure everyone is noticed and informed, and we definitely never go with just what's required by law, which all the law states is we have to send a certified and regular mail to the last known address. And we we go out on Ben Verified, we search, we look, we call title companies, we go to every extreme. We do not like to sell people's property, and we do our best to try to track them down. So we'll keep working with that. Of course, my budget is super good right now. All my expenditures come toward the end of the year, but we are going to be very, very mindful and keep our spending to the bare minimum till we know what's going to happen. Just wanted to ask, I'm not sure right now who's handling our buildings or who's in charge of our buildings, but our landscaping it needs some love. We have weeds all over and leaves in the rock. It looks pretty sorrowful right now, so
I'll talk to Lester about it.
yeah, so we really need to get that taken care of. The bushes need to be cut back. It looks really, really sad. So even though we have our doors locked, we'd like the public to think we're still here and alive, and so if they could please do something. Melanie and I, on our way in and out, have tried to pull a few weeds because it just looks really bad. So anyway, any questions or? Okay.
The Morton $12 million we put in there, has that
Yes.
rate changed?
You know what? They were a little bit nervous because, of course, all this happened right after we put the money in there. But due to kind of the craziness, they were able to buy some of the bonds like at 5% and 4%. Of course, not all of them are going to be that great, but things are looking really good. They still had a little bit more to invest. So I'm kind of interested to see at the end of this month where we'll be, but they were able to get some really good bonds, so I'm hoping that will be a good thing for us. So
Good, thank you.
you bet.
Thanks, Nicole. Appreciate that report. I'd like to welcome Commissioner Blake. Thanks, Commissioner.
Thanks for having me. I had a unforeseen vehicle trouble this morning on my way back home to get on the meeting. I had to call for help. I had to call Broken Arrow and get a ride back home.
Okay, no worries. Glad you made it.
Morning, Mike. Glad you made
I
it.
made it.
Okay, Carrie, are you on? Carrie Jeffries, our recorder?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
A little
Okay,
faint. You might
perfect.
speak up a little bit if you can.
Okay. So on mine, I sent my information to you guys with the packet email for the commission meeting today. On our total recordings, we had 4,052, which is down just about 125 from last quarter. But that's really just because the time of the year. Real estate's always a little bit slower in the winter, so my slowest quarter is always the first one, but 125, it's about the same. Transfer documents, I had 1,311, and subdivisions, we had 4. My total revenue for the quarter was $154,512.20. I have used just about 20% of my budget, so everything looks really good budget-wise. So far, we haven't really seen any effects from the COVID. I'm hoping we won't. Recordings have stayed really steady. My staff's all healthy and here and doing well. So we're just hoping we can get back to normal as soon as possible and just keep doing what we do. And that's really all I have. Do you guys have any questions?
I don't think so. I don't. Commissioner Blake and Adams, do you have questions for Carrie?
I don't. Great job.
I don't either. Thank you so much, Carrie.
Okay. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you, Carrie. Appreciate all you do. Have a good day.
You too.
So let's go to commission reports. Commissioner Adams.
Just give an update on the road.
Let's see what we got. Commissioner Adams, hold on one sec. We can't hear you.
Hey, Mike, I think that might be your audio kind of drowning us out a little bit. You want to mute for a sec?
Mike, do you want to mute for a second?
Now,
There you go. That's better. Okay, go ahead, Alma.
just wanted to report on the new road shed. It's progressing very well and will soon be completed. The road crew is working on the leveling and grading around the building, tie it all in, and it's it's huge. It's going to be so nice. I had a concerned citizen ask why we were building a new road building, and so I will take time to say that we sold the Fiddler's building and used that money for the new road shed. And we didn't just do it for luxury, but we have 5 departments that are going to move into the old building that have been have had less than good facilities to work out of. One, the Parks Department was working out of a container with no electricity. Anyway, we'll have the Weeds Department, Parks, the sign shop, fleet management when we go into our fleet management, which because of COVID is probably going to be postponed for a while. And then also fire. So those people will all now have a much better facility to work out of. And we're tickled to have the new one very soon. And we have the 10-wheelers with pups that we pull behind them. And with the old shed, we always have to drop the pup and pull the truck in and then reattach. And now we have 3 pull-through bays, so they won't have to detach. And it's just going to make us more efficient and ready for the growth that is going to come to our county in the future. Excuse me. Special thanks to all of our people. We're so impressed with all of our employees, how well you've held up during this COVID crisis and how you've continued to do your jobs well and been careful and kept everybody safe, but continued, and that is so appreciated. I think it's so important for the public to know that their government has their back, and that we're doing everything we can to continue to serve them, and that's our whole goal, is to serve the public, and I appreciate so much how everyone is doing that. And I think that's all I have at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Adams. Commissioner Blake?
Just a couple of things that are noteworthy, I guess. The first, I'd like to reach out in appreciation to our coronavirus task force that we put together right at the beginning. This is an organization that's basically an emergency management, coordinated through emergency management to just talk about everybody's needs, make sure that they have the resources available, masks, gloves, things like that. It's been really helpful to coordinate with all of those agencies. That includes all of the municipalities within Iron County, or including elected officials, fire, police, city managers, with the school district, Southern Utah University, representation from the tribe, representation from, I'll miss a bunch. The one that's on the top of my tongue is Karen Share. I'd like to say that all of those organizations are doing well and overcoming a lot of challenges, learning how to do things a new way. One thing, especially the Iron County School District, with graduation and things coming up, they're working really hard to try and put together some semblance of a normal graduation to honor the seniors. We don't know exactly what that's going to look like at this point, but they are working towards that to be able to do something for the seniors and not just let their senior years slip by with no recognition. Another thing, we've been working together with the building department, building and zoning, to identify areas within the county that have we're starting to stack up nuisance ordinance type things. I've been working with Terry on a plan to combat those. If you remember in our budget discussions last year, we also talked about the need for a zoning code enforcement officer. We said that we would kind of be working towards that this next year. So I've been meeting with both the sheriff and with Terry in the building department to put together some ideas and try and come up with a solution to fill that role, the easiest and most effective way to fill that role, because we are starting to see some major nuisance areas within the county that we just haven't had the manpower to police and enforce those zoning codes. So that's been something we've been working really hard on, and feel like we're on our way to a solution with those folks. I'd like to just report, I try and stay in pretty close contact with all of my departments. Everybody's doing really well. There's obviously frustrations. Things are a little stressful over at tourism. The impact there economically is going to be huge. We've met a couple of times as a tourism board to try and determine how we're going to face those. I feel like we've got a pretty good plan, and we're working towards those things. Everybody overall is really doing pretty well. Everyone in the office is, as far as I know, is healthy. Just really proud of the way that our folks have stepped up and addressing the challenges head on. Some able to work from home and juggle their child care with their office duties. And I haven't had any department heads or anybody else report any glaring problems from that. Everybody has seemed to assimilate, and they're getting the job done as well as taking care of their families and keeping themselves healthy. So I just couldn't be more proud of our county employees and our staff. They've been awesome. That's about all I've got.
Thanks for that great report, Mike, and Commissioner Adams as well. And I'd like to echo those same sentiments and how proud we are of our employees and elected leaders and how they've handled this whole situation. And we just, we got a report yesterday from Dr. Blodgett. There's 87 total confirmed cases in 5 counties. That's Beaver, Iron, Kane, Garfield, and Washington counties. 58 have recovered. There was 4 new cases yesterday. 0 cases are hospitalized right now. So I just reading Dr. Blodgett's notes, he said we have no cases in the hospital, and we haven't had a new hospitalization for over 2 weeks. So that's really, really good news. There have been, unfortunately, 2 deaths in 5 counties. And Washington County's had 62 cases, Iron 21, Kane 3, Beaver 0, Garfield 1. There's been 4,238 tests performed as of the last report received, and there's been 41 total deaths in the state, unfortunately. But I know that we've had a lot of discussions with state leadership and our local Chamber of Commerce. We're hoping for the governor to move from red to orange May 1st, so our restaurants can reopen. And it's been shocking how interconnected our economy is, and just as I've gone around and talked to other businesses and how impacted, you think just because they close a restaurant, how that affects everybody else. I mean, advertising is down for the local papers. I talking to a local business that does awards and things. They're way down. It just affects so many different. The garbage pickup, the interconnectivity of our economy is such that it's amazing what happens when there's a little bit of a hiccup. And so we just pray and hope that we can return soon to normalcy in our economy as well. Just a couple things. We're doing some work on the Burrell Community Center. There was some tiles that came loose on the ceiling in the gymnasium area, the Great Hall part of the building, and we had those repaired these last couple of weeks. We've got rubber painting going in to repaint that ceiling, so that's going to look really nice. I'm getting some estimates on replacing some doors in that building. It already has a new roof. It's a good sound building, and I think once we get the doors replaced and a little bit of work in the kitchen, some plumbing and things, that building will be in tip-top shape. Just wanted to thank our Iron County Road Department as well as our engineering department. We have completed the Quichapa recharge project, the gravel pit that's been created over the last couple of years with the pit run and gravel that's been crushed out of that pit. That was a trade we did with Cedar City Corporation. It was 7 acres of property that we were able to harvest gravel and pit run out of, which saved our county years of time in hauling gravel from the city, and many hundreds of thousands of dollars in savings there. But it created a nice big gravel pit. We got a stream alteration permit from the Army Corps of Engineers, and also a permission across from Sitla across their property, and Steve Platt and Curtis DeMille have done a lot of that work, and Preston with the Iron County Road Department has been great to lend some hands to help with that project as well, and it's been wonderful. It's we're running water in there now, probably 2 to 3 CFS of water is going into that recharge basin, and while some of that water was already getting into the aquifer, it was sheet flowing out through the sagebrush and grass, and we feel like that this will be a more efficient recharge. When these gravel pits get deep enough with water, you get what they call head pressure, and it actually pushes that water into the ground and is more efficient in that regard. This will benefit Cedar City a great deal. It's right above one of their wells where they harvest water for their community, and so just want to thank those who were involved in that. We appreciate it very much. That would be the 6th major recharge project in the Cedar Valley. They're working. We are expecting a great runoff from the mountains this year. And last year we recharged. Our deficit in the Cedar Valley is 7,000 acre feet a year. And last year we recharged 10,000, so we were 3,000 over our deficit, which was exciting. And I think this year with this new project online and the cooperation with Western Rock and some of these other landowners and gravel pit owners, we could exceed that this year. So we're excited about that. The water's starting to come down. Hopefully it doesn't come too fast, but it's an exciting thing. I know that in the Parowan Valley, Commissioner Adams, did we lose Commissioner Adams? You there?
Oh, picture. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We just can't see your pretty face.
We lost your video.
I lost all the videos, so I'm not sure why.
Okay, well, we can still hear you.
But anyway, I know, Commissioner Adams, you guys have also been working on some recharge in your valley, and it's just something I think we need to continue to pursue, and it's exciting to be able to capture some of this water before it gets to Lake Quichapa and the Little Salt Lake. So I don't know if you want to talk about that at all, Alma, in your valley.
Just briefly, the city was able to put in a culvert and get water high water that used to just go down the borrow pit into the first cell of the old Parowan sewer lagoons, which always leaked, and it's still holding true to its form. All the sludge was taken out of it, and the water's been running into there for probably 6 weeks or longer, and it hasn't even covered the bottom yet because it just goes right in. So that's been a great recharge, and the Yankee Meadows Reservoir is full and running over. So because of the great winter we had a year ago, and then the one we're just ending up now, that isn't as big as that one, but still very good. The water year looks really good.
Super.
Is there data on the Parowan ones like you guys have in Cedar, or not quite yet?
I know the Parowan pumpers have talked about we put in the Cedar Valley, the CICWCD put in what they call data loggers in each recharge, and in fact they have those in each recharge as well as the irrigation canals. And so they know, and it's real time. They can pull up on your cell phone or computer and see what's actually going where, which is really good. I know that Paul Monroe, they pulled some old ones out and upgraded them that are SCADA capable. Excuse me. And I know they have some old ones they've offered to the Pair One Pumper group over here if they'd like to use those when they get some of these, with like their like Commissioner Adams talked about with their sewer lagoons and some of these other recharge projects they do. They're more than welcome, I think, to those.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but what are the 6 projects in Cedar Valley?
So you have the Western Rock Pit. You have the Schmidt Pit, which is now owned by Western. Western bought Phil's Pit.
Okay.
Okay, so they're both. But I still like to, we still call it the Schmidt Pit to separate it. So those 2 pits are doing well. And then we have the airport recharge, which has been going on for about 15 years. Kit Wareham, back in the day, created those. There was some lagoons parallel with the runways, and all that winter water was going to waste. And back in the day, he talked Mayor Sherritt into allowing him to put that water in there. So that's the 3. And then there's some new recharge basins right there by the Keymaker on Highway 56.
Oh,
Just to the east of Metalcraft.
Metalcraft building,
And they've dug 2 huge pits and harvested gravel and hauled that gravel over to the airport to be used on the runway. And that's created a really nice, and that pretty much takes care of all the runoff from 300 west, all of that runoff goes down by Mr. Bubble's car wash and flows down and drops into those recharge pits. Whatever doesn't recharge, so any any precipitation runoff or snow melt or whatever runs down, goes into those. Whatever doesn't recharge goes out of spillway and goes on down to their Quichapa recharge.
Okay.
So that's 4, and then you've got the Quichapa recharge, the Lazy River, and then you've got this new one we just did. And that's the 6 projects we have.
And you figure last year you had a 3,000 acre-foot surplus?
Yes. Yeah, we did 6,000 acre-feet just in the Western Pit alone.
Oh, that's great.
There was a lot of water we put in that pit, so it's really exciting. And so, any other questions, John? Is that it?
No, that was great.
Well, all of us. We're all in this together. When I say we, it's the county, the city, the CICWCD. Sorry, it's
Group effort, yeah.
Yeah, it's and that's when I say we, it's all of us. And that's the really nice thing about this. Cedar City's, they came out and shot some grades for us on that Quichapa project. The county's helped. The Steve Platt with engineering's helped, and when we did the Lazy River and all that, the county did part of it, the city did part of it, Cedar City did part of it, and everybody's just been wonderful to jump in. We all know we're in this together, and
Absolutely.
it's a problem we all have and needs to be solved. And so when I say we, it's
all of us.
All of us, group effort. So, well, if there's nothing else,
I have one
Go ahead,
thing.
John.
Just quickly, the Cedar Highlands dissolution election will be on May 12th, but the ballots have been mailed out already. It has been fairly smooth so far. There aren't that many voters, but we will probably have the canvass for that in the meeting, the second meeting in May. So
what are there, like 70 or is it 100?
yeah, there's about 100 registered voters, give or take. So
Okay.
that's in process, and then after all the conventions this weekend, we'll be able to start building our ballot for the June election. So
Awesome. Mike, do you have anything? Gina, you good? Okay, if nothing else for this first portion of our meeting, we'll take a break and we'll resume our commission meetings at 10 a.m. Good. Welcome back, everyone. We'll resume our Iron County Commission meeting, and we'll begin with agenda item number 1, public comments. I don't see anyone in our chamber here. I don't know if anyone has. Can you see that anyone's called in?
I am going to just double check. Sorry, I should have done that a second ago. Chanel, if you're listening, if you could text me.
We want to make sure the public feels welcome to still call in and comment and be a part of our meetings. Technology's amazing that we can even do this. See anybody, John?
I just sent the message to Chanel. While we're waiting for her, let me grab this paperwork. You're probably ready to go, aren't you, Mike Worthen?
Yeah.
Well, while we're waiting for, if anybody calls in the public's watching, you're more than welcome to, under the circumstances, call in if you have a public comment to make.
And officially, Chanel said no.
No, we don't. Okay, thank you. Well, Mike, we'll go to agenda item number 2. Consideration and approval of a traditional OHV grant application for grant offered by the Utah Division of Parks and Recreation. This grant will help maintenance of the entire Color Country OHV trail system and planning of the Bumblebee OHV trail segment. Mike, do you want to go ahead and talk about that?
Yeah, this is a 2-year grant that will be considered in the last part of August, and it will purchase a skid steer, which we can use to maintain the trail. I've also talked with Preston, and he is interested in it. If he's going to kick in a little bit of money, about $10,000, and do the maintenance on the skid steer, and they will be able to use it when they need it. So it kind of good for them and good for us. And Maria is also interested in using on some of the trails that she has out of Three Peaks or up at Grants, up Canyon. Anyway, the other part of it, the cash match, the $7,000 on Bumblebee planning and the trail maintenance, $8,400, is actually my salary that will be used. Since I'm a contract employee, I'm proposing that we use that funding to offset the cash match and make this happen. So that's basically where we are with the amount of money that is needed for this application, or for the grant if it's approved.
Perfect. Is there any questions regarding this or comment? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve it.
Okay, I move that we approve a traditional OHV grant application for the grant offered by the Utah Division of Parks and Recreation. Grant will help with maintenance of the entire Color Country OHV trail system and planning of the Bumblebee OHV trail segment.
Second.
You talk so loud.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded for the approval of a traditional OHV grant application for grant offered by the Utah Division of Parks and Rec. This grant will help maintenance of the entire Color Country OHV trail system and planning of the Bumblebee OHV trail segment. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 3. Item number 3, resolution 2020-5 for the creation of the Iron County Economic Development Advisory Board. Danny Stewart, are you on with us?
This is also why I need my own office.
I am on. I'm getting some noise from somebody.
I have no idea that whatever's happening. What Marsha's getting the clerk's office.
Sounds like Carrie got to feed in for some reason.
Can I
You
mute
mute
Harry.
her, or does she need to?
Let's see.
It'll get along better if I had walls.
Harry, can you hear us? You're on a hot mic. Be careful.
She's got. No.
Okay, can you hear me?
Hello?
Mike, do you want to run down and tell Carrie to mute her microphone?
Sorry. Bye. I thought it was muted and I don't know how to mute it.
Okay.
Upper right corner, little microphone thing. If it's green, push it until it's red.
Okay.
I can't mute her from here.
Was that me that she was saying was talking a little too loud?
Oh,
I think we're good. Go ahead,
nothing
Daddy.
worse than an open mic moment there. Oh, he
You
logged
may
in.
be aware that the legislature last session passed some new economic development changes for rural counties in the state of Utah, and I think they're going to be really good for us and for the rural counties to be able to do the types of projects that fit the best in their county. What we do here in Iron County is a lot different than what happens in Morgan or Garfield or anywhere else, and part of this program is called the Utah Rural Counties Grant Program. It's got two different components. One is an annual grant that's available at $100,000. Counties can apply for that. The other one is a competitive grant program, a total of $800,000. Anyway, we'll learn more about those as we work through them. But one element that's crucial for this to happen is the creation of a economic development advisory board. Now, our Office of Economic Development has been set up in a unique way since 1988. We're a partnership between Cedar City and Iron County. And Cedar City has an ordinance that specifies that we have an advisory committee. So we've utilized that committee, since the creation of the Office of Economic Development. And that has 6 members. It has the mayor of Cedar City, a Cedar City Council member, a member of the County Commission, and then it also has a member of the Iron County School Board and a member of the Iron County Water Conservancy District Board, and finally the executive director of the Small Business Development Center. This committee that we've had has been very helpful just to advise the Office of Economic Development the types of projects we should be going for, how to set up local incentives, etc. The new state legislation requires that every rural county who wants to utilize this grant program have a county economic development board. It doesn't make sense for us to have 2 different committees working against each other, and our existing committee covers the requirements for most of the seats for the county board. Proposing a resolution today that would transform our existing economic development committee into the Iron County Economic Development Advisory Board by resolution. The proposal is that we keep those members of the committee that we currently utilize, and that we add the members of the committee that the state requires. Shouldn't be hard. We just wanted to get the ball rolling on this because we could actually begin to take advantage of this as of July 1. There are some projects that are worth us looking at and potentially applying for one or both of these grants this year. But in order to do that, we need the committee in place. So does that make sense? Any questions there?
Danny, in looking at the law, it looked like the maximum amount allowable for the grant under the grant program was $800,000 per year. Is that correct?
That's correct. So even if a county did apply for both, then they, one is 200,000, the other is 800,000. It would work out so that a county could get up to 800 between the two. The 200,000 is ongoing. The state set aside funding that used to be set aside for the U-Star program that is set aside now for this program. The $200,000 you can apply for year to year. If you apply for the larger of the two, the $800,000, and you're awarded that, then you have to, there's a waiting period. I believe it's 2 years before you can apply for that larger one again.
Okay.
Anyway, this is funding that was set aside for several years to encourage the development of tech type companies, the U-Star, and they found that that was a good starter originally, but a lot of that development, those types of things were going on organically, and they really weren't benefiting the rural counties. So that was the reason for Senate Bill 95, which created this new rural county grant program.
I've been on the phone. I've talked with Danny a lot about this and the other members of the committee, and it just makes sense to really take the committee that we already have into place, and instead that's been appointed. I believe it's been appointed by the mayor of Cedar City in the past, if I'm correct. But by law, it would just have to be appointed by the county. So it would basically just move into another one of our county boards that we as a commissioners would be responsible for appointing those positions. Those positions would come at the recommendation of economic development.
Right. I just looking at this, the way that we've had this set up before, the county commission designated their representative, which you did by assigning Mike over economic development. Similar situation with the Cedar City Council. There's a council member appointed to economic development as well as the school board, and then the Water Conservancy District. We've had Spencer Jones on our committee. Anyway, we're doing all those. The people that we need to add to this committee, and I don't have names today, I just wanted to get the resolution in place so that the board is created at the county level, and then we'll make some recommendations for these other members. The way that the state statute was written, it's required that you have at least the following people, and most of those have been covered. The ones that we need to add to this is someone who represents workforce development, a private sector representative, and a member of the public who lives in Iron County. I think it's important as we appoint these board members moving forward that the Parowan-Paragouna northern part of the county is represented, and also the western part of our county with the agriculture is represented. So I'd like to just have the resolution today to create this board, and then we'll provide some names so that hopefully we have a good, well-rounded representation of public, private, and elected officials to move forward and look at the types of economic development projects that will really move the needle here in Iron County.
Okay. Any other discussion or questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Just one question. The last bullet point on the, that lists the different people that would be on the board. Any additional individuals with experience or expertise in economic development matters is chosen by the Iron County Commission. So is that where we would add someone in from the west part of the county and the northern part? And could we add two people?
Yeah,
that
they can come in different ways. The member of the public who lives in the county could represent someone from either of those areas. Also, a private sector representative.
From Danny versus what Alma's seeing.
So I think we could cover everybody that we need without adding the additional individuals. But what I would like to do after we're set up to have this advisory board, that we review the members and take some time to look at some nominees to fill those other spaces before the next meeting.
And actually, Danny and Alma, I'd like to jump in and note that Danny had requested a couple of changes to this document that I made this morning. So the copy you're looking at, Alma and Mike, is a little bit outdated. There weren't real significant changes, but the list of people on that board kind of grew a bit on on this latest revision. I don't know if, Paul, we could maybe just go over that quick so that everybody's top of mind as far as what the revised or the updated resolution calls for as far as people on that board.
Yeah, and the reason I made that revision and added those was for the purpose of keeping our continuing committee, but adding to it. So I kept the language from the existing committee, but then added to it the other ones that are required by the state. So that was the change there. And then I also requested one small change, just clarifying that the state statute dictates the appointment of the board members and identifies the election of a board chair and dictates the length of terms for board members. Okay. So anyway, all that's already spelled out in state statute. So I just wanted a reference to that.
And John, you want to just go through real quick just to make sure we're read them all.
So I just wanted to point out the reason, Dan, is we made the packet on Saturday, and it doesn't show the revisions that we.
Let me just read. So it's just those that are going to serve. So there's a member of the Iron County Commission designated by the Iron County Commission, Cedar City Council member appointed by the mayor with consent of the City Council, the mayor of Cedar City, a member of the Iron County School Board selected by the Iron County School Board, a member of the Central Iron County Water Conservancy District selected by the Central Iron County Water Conservancy District, the executive director of the Business Resource Center, a workforce development representative, a private sector representative, and a member of the public who lives in Iron County, and then any additional individuals with experience or expertise in economic development matters as chosen by the Iron County Commission. So that's the complete list. Any other discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I would move for approval of Resolution 2020-5, creation of an Iron County Economic Development Advisory Board.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to create an Iron County Economic Development Advisory Board, and that's Resolution 2020-5. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you already work on that? Thank you. Did you already work on that podium, Jeannie? You already cleaned the podium?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
We've got a social distancing break, but we were already able to clean the podium, and nobody's been to it since. So
okay, we're good. All right, looks like we're up to item number 4, Resolution 2020-6 for the CICWCD, a resolution to support the Central Iron County Water Conservancy District to plan for and develop the Pine Valley Water Supply and Conservation Project. Paul?
Hey,
Monroe.
I just we're in the process of finishing our environmental impact statement. As you guys know, the Pine Valley Water Leg West Desert Project. That's it's gone really well so far. I've had a couple of bumps along the way, but not to be unexpected in that. And we are in the process now where we're going to submit that, as they call the Notice of Intent, NOI, on the Federal Registry. And part of that begins the public scoping portion, and there's a portion of that that's included that we have support from our local voters. And so this resolution you have before you have is effort for that, just to state basically your support that this is a needed project and one that we'll move forward on. And as far as the resolution goes, it is pretty benign to the point that what we're trying to do is get this EIS complete, and then that way, as we continue to study the needs and when we will actually put this project into place, we'll be ready to go. So this is basically just the support then for us to, as it goes through back to Washington, D.C. and the state level, that we have letters of support, and this resolution is just a little bit more strong and stout in that effort. Any questions on that?
First of all, who's that guy reporting for Paul? Oh, that is Paul. Couldn't recognize him with the disguise.
I wasn't going to let him. He didn't have a tie on. I let him. I cut him some slack.
COVID-19 here.
I'm sorry. I'm probably talking about it.
I just said that's my COVID-19 beard.
There you go. All right. Maybe I should try that. Anyway, is there any financial commitment implied by this resolution?
None.
Okay. And it kind of bleeds out but you're saying that this is required for you to go forward with the EIS. I kind of lost the audio for a minute when
no, it's not required. It just strengthens the EIS.
Okay. Very good.
That was my only question, was that Alma asked the same about if there was any financial responsibility attached to it, but that resolved for me. Thank you.
Just a comment from me that I served on the Central Iron County Water Conservancy District board for 7 years, and this has been an awesome thing. I going back to when the board was the CICWCD board was created. What is it, Paul? Been probably 20? Is it 20? About 22, 3, 4? What is it? How many years ago?
23.
23 years. But it was. I'm grateful for those back then that had the foresight to create the board. I know there was some controversy because it is a taxing entity, but I'm grateful for those that had the wisdom and foresight to take the lumps and create this board, because if this board wasn't created, there probably wouldn't have ever been water filed on in the West Desert. And it's been quite a journey as I was on that board and went through that process with the different legal maneuvers we had to do, the mitigations, the different legal battles we had. But it's been worth it. It's been something that's as that board is responsible to look out 50 years for the water needs of Iron County, and more specifically the communities in the Cedar Valley. And especially as we look at the groundwater management plan that the state engineer has done, it's critical to provide for the water needs in that part of the county for many years to come. So I personally signed a letter of support myself, and I fully support this resolution. Is there any other comments or questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move approval of resolution 2020-6, Central Iron County Water Conservancy District resolution to support the Water Conservancy to plan for and develop Pine Valley Water Supply and Conservation Project.
Mike's got to unmute. There we go.
I'm trying to second.
Okay.
There we go.
All right.
Now I'll second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded after the mute button was removed. All in favor? Well, let me just restate the motion. So, and that's been moved and seconded for the approval of the 2020-6 CICWCDA resolution to support the Central Iron County Water Conservancy District to plan for and develop the Pine Valley Water Supply and Conservation Project. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Alma, did you vote?
You did.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Aye.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got you.
We got you.
From my
Okay.
phone to the laptop now. So
Oh,
Okay.
it's working.
Okay. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks a lot, Paul.
Thank you.
All right. We'll now go to item number 5, the ratification of a contract for crushing untreated base course aggregate with Sonev Construction LLC. And Steve Platt, we each have this document. Alma, do you want to talk about this, or do you want me to just go through it?
Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. We got a really good bid on it from Sonev of $4.89 per cubic yard, and so that's the one we want to accept. Exceptionally good price. The engineer's estimate was $6.10 per cubic yard, and the bid is $4.89. So
that's a great number. So okay, and where's this? Is this going to be crushed here in the Parowan Valley, Alma? Is this
I think this is going to be in Cedar. Let's see. No, Parowan site. That's correct. Yeah, it's in the Parowan site. We already did a crushing in the.
Is
Cedar
this the
Valley, so
pit
this is for
there by
Parowan site.
the fairgrounds?
Yeah, there at the north east corner of town. That pit that we have there, it'll be done there.
The larger.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
So I move approval of this. Well, we're to ratify that it's already been awarded, but to ratify the contract for crushing untreated base course aggregate with Sonev Construction LLC in the amount of $4.89 per cubic yard.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the or to ratify the contract with Sonev, who was the low bidder at $4.89 per cubic yard for a total contract of $146,700. The engineer's estimate was $183,000. So there was a total of 6 bidders, and that's a great deal for the county. So all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, looks like agenda items 6 through 9 would be Danny Stewart talking about the. Let's start with 6. Review and possible approval of tax increment payment for Burl Solar for 2019.
Thank you. These 4 are actually, they all came in together. It's the same developer, the same ownership of these. They're just separate in their agreements, but Burl, Buckhorn, Cedar Valley, and Fiddlers, which is Sun Edison projects. The developer provided the request, met the requirements according to our agreement with them. This is the last of the requests for these solar reimbursements for tax year of 2019. I've gone through the documentation that they sent, and they've met the requirements of the participation agreement. So they're all listed separately here, but they're all basically the same request.
I have the amounts, Danny, if you want those.
Yeah, if you've got those, that'd be helpful, Dan. Thank you.
So Burl Solar is $27,578.44.
What was it again?
Burl Solar.
What? How much?
$27,578.44.
Okay.
Buckhorn Solar, $30,828.84. Cedar Valley Solar, $28,366.07. And Fiddler's Canyon, $59,727.42. And these are the smaller projects. All
What was
of them.
Buckhorn? 30,828.8.
84.
84.
No, 828.
828.84.
Yeah.
Okay. So, can we approve these all together?
Sure.
We do that. We'll probably want to read them all. So let me finish reading. Go ahead. You have a comment, Mike?
Oh, no, I didn't. I just said I've got all the, I'm ready to make the motion. I
Okay.
actually got all the writing, all the dollars and cents down in
Go
on the
for it.
first shot.
Perfect. Go for it.
So,
Oh, hang on.
Sorry, Bill Pressgrove was. He tried to call. He'll often pipe up on things, so.
We might have a comment. Hang on one sec.
Oh, he left a voicemail. Sorry, that kind of slows us down, but it's better to be.
We're good.
Oh, he's right. Yep, he's absolutely right. So, and I actually, I think what happened is, when I wrote the social distancing break, I got rid of the convene as the Iron County Community Development. So
I missed that.
Yep.
I missed that totally. Thank you. Thanks, Bill, for catching that.
Oh, in fact, it's
Totally missed it.
I guess it is kind of.
It's kind of hidden right there, but
Yeah.
I've missed it.
Yeah,
So
sorry
we need
about that.
to before we make a motion, Mike. We need to convene as the Iron County Community Development and Renewal Agency. So
There you go.
thanks, Bill, for catching that. Okay, go ahead, Mike.
okay. I move for approval on number 6 for a tax increment payment for Burl Solar for 2019 in the amount of $27,578.44. And item number 7, move for approval of tax increment payment for the Buckhorn Solar for the year 2019 in the amount of $30,828.84. In item number 8, move for approval of the tax increment payment for Cedar Valley Solar for the year 2019 in the amount of $28,366.07. And then number 9, move for approval of the tax increment payment for Fiddler's Canyon Solar Project for the 2019 year in the amount of $59,727.42.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve agenda items 6 through 9 as described by Commissioner Blake. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. I think I did hear Alma say aye.
Yeah, aye.
Okay.
You could sign those before you leave so I can get those paid. I'm sure they're hungry for their money.
So we'll reconvene now as the Iron County Commission and go to the non-delegated items. Number 1, prairie dog matters. Any prairie dog issues?
I don't.
Seeing none.
Happily no.
Seeing none, we'll go to county boards. Anything regarding county boards we need to discuss?
Danny, did you have anything you want to talk about that with that new board? You're still on mute.
I don't think we had names ready to for approval yet. I think.
Yeah, I'll present all of the names together. I have the names for those on the existing committee, but I'd like to get those on the new positions that have been added to it, and we'll get those done in the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
Would commissioners, would you like me to add under non-delegated a COVID-19 for the time being, or not really? We can add a. Is there any value to that?
We could, but I think we cover it the first.
Okay.
Any updates and things, I think we're probably fine. Anything else?
Let's not put it there because we don't want it to be a thing
There you go.
very much longer.
Exactly.
If
Very
you put
good.
if you put it in writing, it might still be a thing.
Then
like
it's a thing.
prairie dogs.
Oh, yeah, we're still trying to get rid of the prairie dogs, aren't
Talking
we?
about prairie dogs, and they won't go away. Okay.
Okay.
We want this to go away.
Well, I would like to thank everybody for your participation today, including the public that's viewing on our YouTube channel, and appreciate your participation. Thank you very much. We'll declare this meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.